My fiancé said my asexuality pushed her away, so she cheated. Now I'm thriving in a new city, and she's begging for another chance. I, 28 Mem, found out my fiancé, 27F, has been cheating on me with her best friend, 29F. I'm devastated and don't know what to do. I've been with Shirley for 6 years. We met during our sophomore year of college at a campus volunteering event. I was helping organize a food drive, and Shirley showed up with a group of friends to volunteer. She immediately caught my eye with her infectious laugh and the way she effortlessly connected with everyone around her. We ended up working side by side, sorting donations and talking for hours. By the end of the day, I knew I wanted to see her again. Our first date was at a tiny, hole-in-the-wall pizza place near campus. We talked until the staff started cleaning up around us, and I remember thinking how easy it was to be with her. Shirley was everything I wanted in a partner. Kind, funny, and always putting others first. She had this way of making everyone feel important and heard. After college, we both landed good jobs in the same city. I went into marketing, while Shirley pursued her passion for environmental science. We moved in together after a year, and everything seemed perfect. I thought it was the right time to take the next step in our relationship, so I started planning to propose. A bit of backstory about me. I've always been a bit different when it comes to physical intimacy. Growing up, I never understood why my friends were so obsessed with dating and sex. While they were busy chasing crushes, I was more interested in my hobbies, building computers and playing in my high school band. I dated a few girls in high school and college, but I never felt that intense physical attraction everyone talked about. It wasn't until after college that I started to question why I felt so different. After talking with some friends and doing some research online, I realized I might be on the asexual spectrum. I don't mind being intimate, but it's not something I crave or think about much. It was a relief to finally have a word for how I felt, but I was worried about how it would affect my relationships. When Shirley and I first got together, she was concerned that I wasn't attracted to her because I never initiated anything physical. We had a long talk about it, and I explained that I thought I might be asexual. I remember how nervous I was, afraid that this would be the end of our relationship before it really began. Shirley was upset at first, worried about what it meant for our future. She had questions I couldn't really answer, and for a while things were tense between us. I told her I understood if she wanted to find someone else who could give her everything she wanted. But after a lot of discussion and some couples counseling, we decided to stay together. Our compromise was that she would initiate when she wanted to be intimate, and I would do my best to be receptive and engaged. Things were great for a while. Shirley would initiate a couple times a week, and I was happy to oblige. I loved making her feel good, even if I didn't feel the same urgent desire she did. We found other ways to be intimate too, cooking together, giving each other massages, or just cuddling on the couch while watching movies. I thought we had found a balance that worked for both of us, but over time, I noticed Shirley started initiating less and less. At first, I didn't think much of it. We were both busy with work, and I figured she was just stressed or tired. But then I realized it had been over a month since we'd been intimate. I started to worry that maybe she wasn't as okay with my asexuality as she had claimed to be. I asked Shirley if everything was okay, and she assured me it was. She said she just hadn't been in the mood lately because of stress at work. She had recently taken on a big project at her environmental consulting firm, so it made sense. I believed her, but something still felt off. Then I noticed a mark on her neck that she was trying to cover with makeup. When I asked about it, she got flustered and said she must have burned herself with her curling iron. I wanted to believe her, but doubt started to creep in. Shirley had recently started taking dance classes, saying she wanted to get more exercise. I realized the timing coincided with when our intimacy dropped off. One night when she said she was going to dance class, I decided to follow her. I know it was wrong, but I had to know what was going on. She didn't go to dance class. Instead, she met up with her best friend, Emma, at a bar. I was confused. Why would she lie about hanging out with Emma? They'd been best friends since high school, and I had always encouraged their friendship. But then, I saw them kissing in the parking lot, before getting into Emma's car and driving off. I was shocked. Shirley and Emma had been inseparable since I met them. Emma was even going to be Shirley's maid of honor at our wedding. I never suspected anything was going on between them. Looking back, I remembered how Shirley would light up whenever Emma was around, how they had inside jokes I never quite understood. Had I been blind this whole time? I went home and waited for Shirley to return. When she got back, she started telling me about the dance class, going into detail about the routine they were learning. I couldn't believe she was lying to my face. After she went to bed, I did something I'm not proud of. I checked her phone. I found hundreds of messages between her and Emma, full of "I love yous" and plans to meet up. There were even some messages where they talked about me, saying how they felt bad for leading me on, but that Shirley needed to be with someone who could satisfy her. They talked about how my asexuality made Shirley feel unwanted, even though I had always tried to show her how much I cared for her in other ways. I was devastated. Not only had Shirley been cheating on me, but she'd been doing it with her best friend, someone I considered a friend too. And they'd both been lying to me for months. I felt like my whole world was crumbling around me. I didn't confront Shirley right away. I needed time to process everything. I'd been planning to propose to her on our upcoming vacation to the beach, where we had our first weekend getaway. I had already bought the ring, a vintage sapphire that reminded me of her eyes. Now, that future I had imagined for us was gone. I spent the next week pretending everything was normal while I figured out what to do. Shirley and I had been living together for 3 years, and almost everything in our apartment was shared. We had built a life together, and now I had to figure out how to untangle it. I knew I couldn't stay there, but I didn't have anywhere else to go. Finally, I decided to confront Shirley. I waited until we were both home from work, then I asked her to sit down because we needed to talk. I told her I knew about her and Emma. She tried to deny it at first, but when I mentioned the texts I'd seen, she broke down crying. She begged me to forgive her, saying it was just a mistake and that she loved me. But when I asked how long it had been going on, she admitted it had started 6 months ago. 6 months of lying to my face every day. 6 months of sneaking around behind my back with her best friend. I told Shirley it was over and that I was moving out. She cried and pleaded, saying we could work it out. She promised to cut off all contact with Emma, to go to couples therapy, anything to save our relationship. But I knew I could never trust her again. How could I marry someone who had been living a double life for half a year? I packed a bag and went to stay with my brother. The next day, I went back to the apartment while Shirley was at work and packed up the rest of my stuff. It was surreal, boxing up 6 years of memories. I left my key on the kitchen counter along with a note telling her not to contact me again. It's been a week now, and I'm still staying with my brother. Shirley has been calling and texting, non-stop, alternating between apologizing and blaming me for pushing her away with my asexuality. She says if I had been more attentive, more sexual, she wouldn't have turned to Emma. I've blocked her number, but she keeps using her friends' phones to contact me. I don't know what to do now. I feel like my whole life has been turned upside down. I loved Shirley and thought we had a future together, but now I don't know if any of it was real. Was she ever really okay with my asexuality, or was she just pretending until she found someone else? I'm questioning everything about our relationship now. I'm angry, hurt, and confused. How do I move on from this? Has anyone else been through something similar? Any advice would be appreciated. Update 1. It's been a month since my last post, and a lot has happened. First, I want to thank everyone for their support and advice. Your kind words and shared experiences really helped me get through some tough days. After I moved out, Shirley continued trying to contact me. She left voicemails, sent emails, and even showed up at my brother's place a few times, begging to talk. At first, I ignored her, but eventually, I agreed to meet her in a public place, hoping to get some closure. We met at a coffee shop, neutral ground. As soon as I saw her, all the emotions I'd been trying to suppress came flooding back. She looked terrible, with dark circles under her eyes and her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. Part of me wanted to comfort her, but I reminded myself why we were there. Shirley tried to explain herself, saying she never meant to hurt me, and that she still loved me. She said her relationship with Emma started as just a close friendship, but things escalated when Emma confessed her feelings. According to Shirley, she was confused about her sexuality and didn't know how to handle it. I asked her why she didn't just break up with me if she was having doubts. She said she was scared of losing me and thought she could figure things out without hurting anyone. I pointed out that her actions hurt everyone involved, me, herself, and even Emma. She broke down crying, apologizing over and over. As we talked, I realized how much anger I'd been holding on to. I told her how betrayed I felt, not just by the cheating, but by the lies. We had always prided ourselves on our open communication, especially when it came to my asexuality. Finding out that she had been hiding her true feelings for so long made me question everything about our relationship. Shirley admitted that she had struggled with my asexuality more than she let on. She said she felt unwanted and unattractive, even though I tried to show my love in other ways. She said being with Emma made her feel desired in a way she hadn't in a long time. Hearing this hurt, but it also made me realize that maybe we weren't as compatible as I thought we were. After our talk, I felt drained, but also lighter somehow. I still didn't forgive Shirley, but I understood a little better why she did what she did. It didn't excuse her actions, but it helped me start to process what happened. Speaking of Emma, I found out that she had a longtime girlfriend who had no idea about any of this. I struggled with whether or not to tell her, but in the end, I decided she deserved to know. I reached out to her on social media, and we agreed to meet for coffee. Olivia, Emma's girlfriend, was understandably devastated when I told her what happened. She had been with Emma for 5 years, and they were talking about starting a family together. Finding out about Emma's affair with Shirley shattered her world. She thanked me for telling her the truth, even though it was painful. After our meeting, Shirley's attempts to contact me increased. She left voicemails saying she'd broken things off with Emma and wanted to work things out with me. She promised to go to therapy, to work on our intimacy issues, to do whatever it took to regain my trust. But I knew I could never trust her again. The Shirley I loved, the one I thought I knew, was gone. I decided I needed a fresh start. I couldn't keep living at my brother's place, surrounded by reminders of my life with Shirley. I applied for a job transfer to our company's office in another city, and to my surprise, I got it. I'm moving next month, and I'm both excited and terrified. In the meantime, I've been focusing on myself. I've started seeing a counselor to work through my feelings about the breakup and to better understand my asexuality. It's been helpful to talk to someone who doesn't judge me for my orientation. We've been working on my self-esteem and helping me understand that my worth isn't tied to my sexuality. I've also reconnected with some old friends I'd lost touch with while I was with Shirley. It's been nice to rebuild those relationships and remember who I am outside of a romantic partnership. My college roommate Alex has been especially supportive. He's been going through a divorce, so we've bonded over our shared experiences of heartbreak and starting over. One unexpected positive outcome: Olivia, Emma's now ex-girlfriend, and I have become friends. We bonded over our shared experience of betrayal, and it's been comforting to talk to someone who understands exactly what I'm going through. We meet up for coffee regularly and check in on each other. It's nice to have someone who gets it. As for Shirley and Emma, I heard through mutual friends that they're officially together now. It stings, but I'm trying to focus on moving forward rather than dwelling on the past. I've asked my friends not to give me updates on their relationship. I need to focus on my own healing. I still have days where I'm angry or sad. Sometimes I wake up and for a split second, I forget what happened, and then it all comes crashing back. But overall, I'm doing better. I'm looking forward to my fresh start in a new city and the opportunity to rebuild my life on my own terms. Thank you all again for your support. I'll update again after I've moved and settled into my new life. Update 2. It's been 6 months since my last update, and almost 8 months since I found out about Shirley's cheating. A lot has changed, and I wanted to share my progress. I've been living in my new city for about 5 months now. The move was challenging. Packing up my life and saying goodbye to friends and family was harder than I expected. But it was exactly what I needed. Being in a new place, away from all the reminders of my life with Shirley, has been incredibly healing. My new job is going well. I was nervous about starting over in a new office, but my colleagues have been welcoming. I've made some friends at work, and they've been introducing me to the city. It's been fun exploring new neighborhoods and trying out local restaurants. I've been pushing myself to try new things. I joined a hiking club, which has been a great way to meet people and explore the natural beauty around my new home. I even tried rock climbing for the first time, something I never would have done before. It's been exhilarating to discover new interests and push myself out of my comfort zone. I'm still in touch with Olivia, Emma's ex. She's been a great friend through all of this. We talk regularly and support each other as we both navigate life after betrayal. She recently started dating someone new, and I'm genuinely happy for her. Seeing her move on has given me hope that I'll be able to do the same someday. As for my own love life, I've been taking things slow. I went on a few casual dates, but nothing serious. I'm still working on trusting people again, and I want to make sure I'm in a good place before getting into another relationship. I've been upfront about my asexuality from the start, which has scared some people off, but I'd rather be honest than go through what happened with Shirley again. I've continued seeing a counselor, and we've been doing a lot of work on my self-esteem and boundaries. I realized that even. Before Shirley's cheating, I often put her needs before my own. I'm learning to value myself more and to communicate my needs clearly. It's not always easy, but I'm making progress. I've also been doing more research about asexuality and connecting with other ace people online. It's been incredibly validating to talk to others who share similar experiences. I'm becoming more comfortable with my identity and learning how to explain it to potential partners. I even attended an asexuality awareness event in my new city, which was eye-opening. As for Shirley and Emma, I haven't heard much. A mutual friend told me they broke up a few months ago. Apparently, the trust issues were too much to overcome. I didn't feel any satisfaction hearing this, just a sort of sad acceptance that actions have consequences. Shirley tried to reach out to me again after their breakup. She sent a long email apologizing and saying she regretted her choices. She said therapy had helped her understand why she did what she did, and that she hoped someday I could forgive her. While I appreciate the apology, I told her I've moved on and asked her not to contact me again. Overall, I'm in a much better place now. The pain isn't gone completely, but it's more of a dull ache than the sharp agony it once was. I'm proud of the progress I've made and excited about what the future might hold. I'm rediscovering who I am outside of a relationship, and I like the person I'm becoming. Update 3. It's been a year since my original post, and I wanted to give one final update. Life has settled into a new normal, and I'm happy to say it's a good one. I've fully embraced my new city and job. I was recently promoted at work, which was a great boost to my confidence. My boss said she was impressed with how quickly I adapted to the new office and the fresh perspective I brought to our projects. It feels good to be recognized for my work, especially after everything that happened. My social life has expanded significantly. The hiking club I joined has become a big part of my life. We go on weekend trips to nearby state parks, and I've made some close friends there. There's a core group of us that often get together outside of hikes for game nights or to try new restaurants. It's nice to have a solid support system again. I'm still friends with Olivia. She visited me in my new city a couple of months ago, and it was great to see her. We spent a weekend exploring the city and catching up. She's doing well in her new relationship, and seeing her happy has been really healing for both of us. We've both come so far from where we were a year ago. As for my own love life, I've started seeing someone. Her name is Mia, and we met through a mutual friend at a board game night. She's kind, funny, and most importantly, incredibly understanding about my asexuality. We've had many open conversations about boundaries and expectations, and it feels good to be with someone who respects my identity. Mia is also on the asexual spectrum, which has been a new and positive experience for me. We connect on an emotional and intellectual level that I've never experienced before. We're taking things slow, but I'm excited about where this relationship might go. I haven't heard from Shirley in months, which has been a relief. The last I heard, she had moved to another state for a new job. I hope she's found peace and learned from what happened. I no longer feel anger towards her, just a kind of distant sadness for what we lost. Looking back on the past year, I'm amazed at how far I've come. The betrayal was painful, but it led me to make positive changes in my life that I might not have made otherwise. I've learned a lot about myself, my needs, and what I want in a relationship. I'm more confident in my asexuality now. I've become involved in local LGBTQIA+ groups, and even spoke at a panel about asexuality awareness. It feels good to use my experience to help others who might be struggling with their identity. My relationship with my family has improved too. Going through this difficult time made us closer, and I appreciate their support more than ever. My brother, who I stayed with right after the breakup, is planning to visit me next month. I'm excited to show him around my new city and introduce him to my friends. I've also rediscovered old hobbies and found new ones. I've started playing in a community band again, which has been a great creative outlet. I'm learning to cook, something I never really did when I was with Shirley. It's satisfying to make a meal from scratch and share it with friends. I'm not the same person I was a year ago, and that's okay. I'm stronger, more self-aware, and more comfortable in my own skin. While I wouldn't wish what happened on anyone, I'm grateful for the growth it prompted. To anyone going through something similar, know that it does get better. It takes time and work, but you can come out the other side stronger and happier. Be patient with yourself, surround yourself with supportive people, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Thank you all for your support throughout this journey. Your kind words and advice meant more than you know. While this will be my last update, I'll always be grateful for the community I found here during one of the toughest times of my life.